Stampers, this is Dawn from Dawnstamping.net, and I had made this Dutch fold card years ago, and I recently just made a birthday card for my really good friend Patty, and I had used this template, but I changed it. I turned it, and it totally changed the card. So this was the original Dutch fold card, and it opens up like this. Cute. But now look at this one that I made. Just turning it like this. How cute! Okay, so let me show you the birthday card that I made for Patty. My girlfriend Patty, she also rides a Harley and she loves to camp. So I thought that this stamp set was actually perfect for her. But this is the way the front of the card looks, and then you open it up and it's just got like a bunch of banners and a bunch of balloons that are also in this stamp set with this cute trailer. So that was Patty's birthday card. Now let me show you the card that we're going to make today. Oh my gosh, isn't that beautiful? So now this is the front of the card, and then you open it up like this, and that's what that one looks like. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm using the Mint Macaron cardstock, and this is cut at 7 1/8 by 8, and we're going to score and cut that together. So let me give you the measurements of all the layers. So for the inside of the card, the cherry cobbler is cut at 3 3/4 by 4 1/2, and then your Whisper White piece is cut at 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. Then you're going to need 2 pieces for the, let me show you here what we're talking about. So for this panel right here and this section underneath the little pine cones right there, you're going to need 2 pieces of cherry cobbler, and these are both cut at 2 1/8 by 3 3/4. And then the designer paper, this is the Presents and Pine Cones designer paper, so beautiful. And you're going to need 2 of these, and these are both cut at 1 7/8 by 3 1/2. And then for the Dutch fold doors that fold in, we're going to decorate both sides. So you're going to need 4 pieces of the cherry cobbler. So the 4 pieces of cherry cobbler, those are cut at 1 3/4 by 2 1/8. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White, and then also 2 pieces of the designer paper, and these all 4 are cut at 1 1/2 by 1 7/8. All right, now one more layer for the very front of the card, because we're going to do this part first. This Whisper White piece is cut at 3 by 3 3/4, and then the cherry cobbler piece is cut at 3 1/4 by 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some stamping first. So I have my pieces here. Let me show you the stamp sets we're using. Okay, so I needed another stamp that fit in this window. I could have used the very front one that I used for the front of the card, but I thought instead of like redoing that again, I picked this Merry Wishes, and that's from the stamp set called Merry Wishes, and that's right here. So that's the greeting we used on the very bottom of the inside of the card. Then all the other images that I used are from the Christmas Pine stamp set. And remember, this has the Pretty Pines Thinlits that you can buy in a bundle and save 10% when you buy them both together. Okay, so we're going to be using the Mint Macaron Classic Ink and the Emerald Envy Classic Ink, and then also the Cherry Cobbler Classic Ink. And I have all my images on a block already. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab some scrap real quick, and we're going to stamp the little pine leaves right here, and I have both of them on a block. So we're just going to use the Mint Macaron and the Emerald Envy for the branches. So I'm just going to stamp, and it doesn't really matter which one you use first. This is the Mint Macaron, and I'm just going to angle the little pine leaves off to the side, and I'm going to stamp those twice. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to stamp this way. Okay, then we're going to flip it over. I have the other side, and we're going to use the Emerald Envy. So I'm going to stamp off before I actually stamp onto the cardstock. Then stamp it again. Okay. So there's what the front looks like so far. Okay, so now we're going to stamp the greeting, and this says, "May your Christmas sparkle with joy and happiness." We're going to use that with the cherry cobbler. And I'm just going to stamp that right here. Okay, so now these are the 2 little Whisper White pieces that we're going to stamp for the inside. I'm going to stamp this Merriest Wishes on the inside of one of the doors. Okay, and then this one, I think, yep, this one right here says, "May the simple joys of the season be yours." That's going to be stamped on the other one. Hopefully that's center. I don't want to put my head in the camera. Okay, that's good enough. All right, now we're going to stamp the inside of the card. I have that piece right here. Might as well do all the stamping and get that out of the way. So this one says, "Tidings of comfort and joy." Okay, all right, now we're going to build our pine cones and our pine needles. To save a little time, I went ahead and already cut out the branches and then also the pine cones. And the pine cones, I used the copper foil sheets, and they're currently on back order when I'm filming this video, but hopefully they'll be back in stock by October 17th. So I cut 2 of the pine cones out, and then I cut 2 of the sizes of the branches, 1 of each, in the mint macaron and then the emerald envy. And here's the mint macaron. Okay, so I went ahead and did that already just to save some time. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and layer our pieces onto the cherry cobbler. Okay, so now let's build our front layer to our panel right here. Let me move the scrap paper out of the way. Okay, so for our pine needles, we're just going to use the liquid glue, and you're just going to need a little bit because I want this to be like have a lot of dimension to it. So I'm just going to adhere the bottom part of the leaf or the pine needle. Let me get the green long one over here. Okay, so we're just going to attach that with the liquid glue, and then every other color just overlapping each other. Okay, there we go. And we'll just do this one little emerald envy piece. Okay, now we're just going to attach our 2 pine cones together with the glue dot. Overlap them. Then I'm going to grab another glue dot. I'm going to put this right on the top. This is where we're going to put our little bow. This is the 3/8 silky taffeta ribbon. This is brand new in the holiday catalog, and you get both colors, which is the cherry cobbler and the emerald envy. We're going to use the cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to quickly tie a little bow. Okay, then we're going to take our little pine cones and we're just going to put our little bow right up there. Then we're going to flip that over. We're going to put this up on a dimensional. And then this is going to sit right between all those branches that we glued on. How pretty. Okay, so for the front of the card and then also the inside, I added the really beautiful white mica flakes. And let me show you those. I got my white mica flakes in this little container, and it seriously looks like snow. It's so pretty. But when you buy this, you get 3 colors. You get the white, the green, and the gold in a trio pack in the holiday catalog right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do this part right now so we have time to let it dry. So we're going to take our 2 layers and then the front layer, and I'm going to use this wide brush tip end of my multi-purpose liquid glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze that out a little bit. Hopefully I can show you here. Okay, there we go. So you don't really need a lot. And I'm just going to dab this across the bottom of my front layer. And then also on the inside layers. Like I said, you don't need a lot. Okay, then we're just going to take our mica flakes And I'm just going to dip this in. Just make sure it sticks. So I'm just going to rub it down into the glue and then give it a good flick. Make sure you get all the extra pieces off. I'm going to just do the other layers the exact same way. So pretty. Oh my gosh. It looks just like snow. So gorgeous. All right, then this piece. Okay, we're just going to set that aside to dry. Now we're going to go ahead and make the card. So now we got our mint macaron base. Remember, this is cut at 7 1/8 by 8 inches. And I just got to double check my size before we start scoring here. Okay, so this is the 8-inch side. So first we're going to go ahead and score this at 2 inches. And then slide it down to 6. Okay, then we're going to turn it, and now this is the 7 1/8 side. We're going to score both sides at 2 3/8, and the 2 3/8 measurement is the mark right before the 2 1/2. So this side we're just going to score all the way down, but this side we're going to score again at 2 3/8, but we're only going to score up to the score line. So you're going to score from the bottom up and then the top down to that score line. This is going to make your Dutch fold card. Okay, so it should look like that now. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and fold the score lines. Okay, so now we're going to cut. We're going to remove these 2 squares on the right hand side and then also on the left. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and fold these in and fold this down. So now you can see the Dutch fold card. So that's how you make that base. All right, so now instead of it folding up this way, remember we're going to turn it to the left and we're going to open it up this way. Okay, so now let's go ahead and decorate our layers. Okay, so we're just going to put adhesive on all these pieces. That makes it go a little bit quicker. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now you can see the card coming together. All right, now we're going to take our pieces that we stamped earlier. Now we're going to go ahead and layer those onto the card. Okay, so now when layering the front piece, you're only going to put adhesive on the one side, because if you put adhesive over here, you're going to seal it down. We don't want to do that. So just put adhesive along the left-hand side in this case. And then you're just going to go ahead and center that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So then that opens up like that. Isn't it gorgeous? What a fun card. So then here's the other one. And then, of course, here's the little mouse, Christmas version for that one. And then Patty's birthday card. Cute. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.